In this video, we're going to show you how to replace the engine knock sensor on your Ford Focus. This will be located behind the intake. Let's get started. Open the fuse box in the engine bay. We're going to remove the fuel pump relay. Remove the relay. If you use a pair of pliers, be very careful not to break the relay. With the relay out, go into the car, start the car, and let it die out. It should stall out after about a minute. Put the relay off to the side. Using a 10mm socket, loosen the top nut. Pull the pull out and lift the bracket up. Remove the plastic shield. Remove the bracket. Using a 10mm socket, loosen the negative terminal. Pull the negative terminal off, put it to the side. Using an 8mm socket, remove the bolts for the intake box. They'll stay inside of the box, just get them nice and loose. Remove the hose, pull on the tab, push the pipe farther on, and then pull it back. Using a flat blade screwdriver, loosen the clamp. Pull the boot off of the throttle body. Lift straight up. Put the air cleaner on the side. If you want to totally remove it, pinch this clamp, pull it back, and remove the air box. Using a 7mm socket, remove the bolt for the snow shield. Remove the plastic clip. I'm going to twist it up. Remove the snow shield. Remove the cable from the throttle body. I'm going to use a flat blade screwdriver that's just slightly larger. We're going to twist the plastic open, and as we do that, we're going to push down, pull our cable off, twist, and pull out, and remove the cable. Remove the throttle body connector. There's a push button on this back side. We're going to push on that and pull straight back. Remove the connector. Push button's right here. Push on that, pull straight back. Remove the connector, push on the button, pull straight back. There's one plastic stay for this harness. We're going to pop that out. And pull this harness up and out of the way. Remove the vacuum hose from the intake manifold. Just pop it straight off, tuck it off to the side. Remove the line. On the bottom of the line, there's going to be a little button. We're going to push on this, push the connector in, and then pull it out. That's our little push button. Push that in, push in, and then pull out as you hold the button. Put that off to the side. Reach down and disconnect the connector. Push on the tab on the side, and then pull straight down. Remove the connector, push it out of your way. Remove the connector, push on the tab, pull straight down. Remove the connector. And we have one more for our map sensor. Push on the tab, pull straight back. Push those down and out of your way. We're going to remove the brake booster hose. This red clip down here, we're going to push down on that. As we push down, pull the hose out, put it to the side. Do not lose this red clip. Remove the hose, When you do this, it's good to have a towel under you. You may spill a little bit of gas. Work the hose off. I'm going to put my hose onto this fitting on the top. Just let it sit there. Using a T30 bit, remove the bolt for the oil dipstick. Remove the bolt, pull straight up on the dipstick, and remove it from the vehicle. Pop the plastic stay for the harness off of the intake manifold. We're going to pop it off the power steering reservoir as well. Pull the harness to the front, kind of out of the way. Remove the connector for the knock sensor. Push on this tab, pull straight back, remove the connector, just like that. Pull the harness side. There's a little tab on the bottom of the intake manifold. Pull the connector straight forward and pop it off of that tab. The button to disconnect the connector is right here. Push down on that, pull straight back. Using a 10mm socket, remove the 7 bolts for the intake manifold. We're going to start on the passenger side, our first one being right next to the power steering reservoir. Slide your extension and socket in. Before fully removing the bolt, I put a little bit of grease inside of my socket. This grease should hold the bolt as I pull it out, so we're not searching for it somewhere inside of the car. Remove the bolt. Continue down the line, removing all of the bolts. Going straight through the space in the intake manifold, go straight back, and you'll be able to get on the 10mm for the intake manifold. Remove the bolt. Remove the bolt right to the left of the throttle body. Remove the bolt. This last bolt is difficult to see. We have a mirror set up so you're able to see under the throttle body. There's a little red circle showing the bolt that you'll want to remove. When you're trying to find this with your ratchet, travel right down the side of the engine. You're going to want to push your socket in straight on that line. Once you get your socket on the bolt, go ahead and loosen it up and remove the bolt. Remove the bolt. Using a 10mm socket, remove the lower bolt. Remove the bolt. Pull the intake manifold straight out. Pull it off the right side. Get it around the tube. Right down here, we're going to have one hose clamp that we need to remove. Pinch the clamp and pull it back. Then remove the hose. Used a flat blade screwdriver to help me pull the hose off of the tube. Lift the intake straight up and out. Using a 10mm socket, remove the bolt for the knock sensor. Remove the knock sensor and the bolt. We're going to remove the old plastic stay for the knock sensor off of the intake manifold. This is on the front left side of the manifold. Pop the clip out. Install the bolt into the sensor. Get the bolt lined up. Get it started by hand. Articulate the sensor in the same way it came out and snug it down. Torque the knock sensor to 15 foot-pounds. Be sure the harness is routed below the hose. Using a razor blade or a carbide scraper, we're going to go through and clean the mating surface for the intake manifold. You also want to make sure you clean around this EGR tube. When you're scraping, you will want to avoid scraping towards the port. If you're worried about getting anything in it, you can use a rag and plug it up. We don't want to take off any material, we just want to get rid of the corrosion. Continue doing this around the whole mating surface. Using a clean rag and some parts cleaner, spray the rag and wipe down the mating surface. We recommend replacing the gaskets on the intake. Ours look good. We're going to reuse them. Install the intake into the car. Get the intake settled in. We're going to reconnect the hose in the back. Get the hose on the connection. Using a pair of pliers, pinch the clamp. Pinch the clamp and get it installed in its original position. Slide the intake into place. Go around and get the bolts started. Just get these started by hand for now. Install the knock sensor connector into the bracket. Install the knock sensor connector. Push until you hear a click. If you don't, give it a pull. Make sure it's locked in. Torque the manifold bolts to 13 foot-pounds. We're going to start in the middle on the bottom and then work our way out. I'm going to go over them one more time just to double check. Install the fuel hose. Install the vacuum hose. Install the plastic stay. Do the same thing on the front. There's one more right on the front of the intake. Install the red lock into the top of the throttle body. Install the vacuum hose. Be sure it's locked into place. Give it a pull up. Install the throttle body connector. Push until you hear a click. If you don't, pull back on it. Make sure it's locked on. Install the map sensor connector. Push until you hear a click. If you don't, give it a pull. Make sure it's locked on. Just one more connector right next to it. Same thing, push until you hear a click. If you don't, give it a pull. And then all the way in the back, we're going to find our swirl generator. Install the connector. Push until you hear a click. Give it a pull, make sure it's locked. Install the plastic stay. Install the connector. Push until you hear a click. Give it a pull, make sure it's locked. Install the accelerator cable. Turn it a quarter turn to the right to lock it in place. Install the connector onto the throttle body. Click it into place. Install the snow cover. Get the bolt started. Snug the bolt down. Pull the hose over. Install the plastic stay. Pull the hose down and around. Push it on until you hear a click. Give it a pull, make sure it's locked. Install the air box. Be sure to click this into the grommet in the back. Get the air box installed. Snug the bolts down. Snug down the clamp. Pull the hose down, click it on, give it a pull, make sure it's locked. Install the hose, unlock the clamp. Install the lower manifold bolt, get it started by hand. Snug the bolt down. Torque the bolt to 13 foot-pounds. We're going to put a light coat of silicone grease on our dipstick tube, just on the O-ring. This will help it slide into the oil pan much nicer. Install the dipstick down into the oil pan. You are able to see the port through a crack in the manifold. Get everything lined up and installed into place. Push down, make sure the dipstick is clicked into the bottom port. Install the bolt. Snug down the bolt. Install the negative battery terminal. Snug it down. Install the cover. Install the bracket. Pull the pull out. Install it into the bracket and snug the nut down. Install the relay. Close the box and you're good to go.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.